All right, what's up, guys? So I'm here with a very special guest today, Deanna Mendoza, my fully recovered client in 47 days. I mean, if you guys don't know who I am, I'm Andres Wolf, founder of Reality Reconnect. My client Deanna recovered and overcame anxiety and DPDR in 47 days. So I'm really excited to tell her story. And yeah, let's start it off with Deanna. Just introduce yourself a little bit, like where are you from? How did this all start for you?
Yeah, my name is Anna Mendoza. I'm born and raised in California. I know different people have different triggers to DPDR, but mine started because of a lot of stress from my the job that I was working at and a lot of bad financial decisions that I was making. So for me, it was just over looping, like loopings in my head about how I could have done things better, which
Yeah.
caused DPDR and anxiety. And yeah, and now I'm proud to say that I'm fully recovered thanks to this program.
Oh my God. Amazing. Amazing. And it just makes me so happy. But let's get into it before we get into that. Okay, so I mean, be a little bit more specific, like what actually triggered this? Because everyone has like their own thing. And I'm a big advocate of saying, like, it doesn't matter what actually triggered you. The fact of the matter is you're in this cycle, and everyone likes to like even when I was going through it, I wanted to relate to people so much. I wanted to find the person with my exact trigger, my exact story, and it doesn't really exist. But like for you, like what was it specifically that got you into the cycle?
I think it was just a lot of stress from work. Like it was a lot of pressure from the job that I was working at. And I didn't really notice that until my husband later told me, like, you're not really happy when you're going to work. I'm always stressed out,
Yeah,
always going in, like waiting for my boss to tell me something that you messed up on something.
yeah,
And then a lot of people find it silly, but I'm a person that it's hard for me to say no. So I got
yeah,
scammed a whole bunch of times at the dealership, at the car dealership, saying that they were gonna get me a better deal. And I fell for it every time until I got myself into like a really bad deal that just didn't make sense to me. And that's what like triggered it. That's like what set off my DPDR and anxiety. Because I could have said no and I didn't. My husband told me not to do it and I didn't do it. So I mean, here in America, credit's a big thing, right? So we need credit like for anything, for credit cards, to take
yeah,
out a car, to take out, to buy a house. So me turning in that car just ruined my credit. So for me, it was like the end of my world, right? It was like
yeah.
I worked so hard. I worked since I was 18 to, build up my credit. And then because of a bad decision, it just caused so much anxiety and then so much regret. Um, but yeah, basically bad financial decisions, a really toxic workplace was what basically got me there.
I feel you. I remember us talking about that decision and everything that happened with the car and the stress and the credit. I feel you on that. And what was life before anxiety and DPDR, Diana? By the way, we didn't mention, but how long did you actually struggle with anxiety for?
I think it started, I want to say around this time last year, actually in September.
Mhm.
And it was really bad. Like to be honest, people might think I'd be, that I'm exaggerating, but it was to the point where I couldn't even sit down. Like I was just like walking back and forth. I've been in psych wards, pretty bad experiences. Suicidal thoughts because of the DPDR. I know a lot of people can relate to that as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah.
Um, it's pretty bad, all because I felt like I made some mistakes that I could never come back from. But yeah, it was just something that it's undescribable. Like only people that have the PDR and anxiety know what it feels like to have that.
Yeah, 100%. And speak a little bit more about the symptoms that you were going through, right? Because everyone has their own, but like, okay, like how bad was it for you and what was it like you were actually experiencing?
Yeah, so I wasn't sleeping like at all. Like I would literally just see the sun come up every night, every day. Uh, I also wasn't eating. Like my appetite was gone. I couldn't eat anything, even like a slice of pizza. So I lost a lot of weight. Um,
Mhm.
and I just felt like I was like going crazy, to be honest with you, because I wasn't sleeping, I wasn't eating. My family was really concerned for me.
Mhm.
And just really restlessness. Like I had to walk back and forth, like even when I was in the psych ward. I mean, it's impossible to sleep in there anyways because they're just always checking up on you, making sure you're okay. But I just, couldn't sleep at all, not even for like an hour or two. Um, and just walking, pacing back and forth. And that's what I would do in the psych ward, just pace back and forth because that was all I was able to do because those were my symptoms.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm really sorry to hear that about the psych ward. Like that was where I thought I was going to end up in. Thankfully, I didn't. I've heard a lot of stories from other people saying how bad it is in there too.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
and that's horrible. Before anxiety, though, like, you're 27. Did you live 26 years basically normal, or what was your life beforehand?
I've had anxiety in the past, but not this bad, like to the point where I had to go to the psych ward. Um, it was more like situations that kind of just like came in, like just like situations that were temporary. I mean, everything is temporary. I mean, I thought this was gonna be forever, right? But situations where I thought that for sure they were temporary. Um, but it wouldn't be to the point where I couldn't sleep or I couldn't eat. I've always been an anxious person. I always bite my nails, overthink. So I was already, I think, prone to like go through something like this or,
Okay.
have some type of background in anxiety, but I never thought it was going to be to like the point where I would have to go to a psych ward or have, suicidal thoughts and stuff like that.
100%. 100. And you talked a lot about the existential thoughts, I remember, right?
Yeah, those are bad too.
People, I mean, that was my worst. That was my worst. What did that feel like for you? Like, give us an example of, what you were going through.
Yeah, so for that, it was just like, why are we here? What am I doing here? Like, why do we exist? Like, how does all of this exist? It's just, and then nonstop. I think that's the thing that kind of drove me crazy was the nonstop existential thoughts. The thought of like, I mean, killing myself too was just something that felt like the right decision to do just because I couldn't get the thoughts to stop.
Yeah,
I mean, it was just horrible.
horrible. And I think you had some attempts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've been there. I didn't actually attempt, but I've been at that mindset and I know how low that can feel. And I know a lot of people watching this right now have definitely been there as well. But like what did that point feel like for you? Like that the lowest point?
Yeah, so I felt like I lost everything. I'm also a musician, so I had a band that I was a part of. And because of my anxiety, since like I mentioned earlier, I wasn't sleeping, I wasn't eating, I wasn't performing well. So I decided to let the band go to focus on my mental health. So I had lost basically like my second family, that which was to me this band. I lost my good job where I was at. Um, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I felt like I was at the lowest at the low, like rock bottom. Literally nothing good was happening to me. So in my mind it was like, what do I have to lose now? I don't have a job. I don't have a car. My credit's gone. I'm never gonna be able to buy a house. Literally thinking that there was no way
No
for
way
me to
out.
get out of there. Yeah, no way out. So that was the lowest of my low and felt like that was the only way out.
I relate so much to that. So much to that. And a lot of people do. And I think it's so inspiring and motivating that you got yourself out of there with my help. Um, because I know what that's like, and I'm really proud of you, Deanna. Seriously. Okay, cool. What else did I have for you? Um, where did it go? Here we go. Okay, yeah. I mean, did you ever feel like at a certain point though, like that you will never recover? Did you ever feel like you were the one person where like you would see my stories or you would see other people's stories, even these interviews, but you still felt like you, Deanna, couldn't recover?
Yeah, like not even like 2 weeks ago, right? I, said I had gave up and that was it. Um, I would see your client stories. I would see the other interviews as well. I know that weed was something that triggered it, and for me, it was like financial stress,
Uh-huh.
which was a different trigger than I feel like most people's. Well, I mean, I don't know like what other people's DPDR has been triggered by. But just thinking that my trigger was different, that my circumstances were different, that I would never be able to recover because I won't be able to go back to the life that I used to have. But mindset change is really, really important. That's what something that I really came to learn because I was so stuck in that mindset that no, I'm not gonna be able to recover. This anxiety won't go away. Um, so it was pretty bad. But if there's a saying that goes, if nothing changes, nothing changes, right?
Boom.
So like, and I've been seeing a lot of your videos that you've been posting lately that, like you can't think that you're the only one or that you can't, or you're not the only one that can recover. And you can't just like I have a brother actually that told me to stop dwelling on it and stop feeling sorry for myself because that's not going to lead you to anything. And I think that's a really important point to make.
So important. So, so important. I want to touch up on that because people don't understand. Guys, I promise you, I'll pull it up right now. It is September 15th. September 3rd, Deanna literally texted me. She said, "Thank you for everything, but I don't think I can do this anymore." Okay. This was 12 days ago. So she went from literally about to quit to not even, that was like a week later, a week and a half later, saying she was fully
Hmm.
recovered. And that shows you right there how close you are to a breakthrough. And if there's one thing I wish I knew when I hit rock bottom as well, is I was literally a couple weeks away from recovering. I was literally a couple weeks away. And I'll probably pop that text up in the screen, up on the screen when I edit this. But I definitely want to talk about that. Not yet, but we'll definitely talk about that turning point in a second. Um,
Hmm.
I was going to ask you, like, how did anxiety affect your life? How did it affect everything about your life? I mean, I can kind of answer that for you, as I know, but like, you lost your job. That's number one. You lost your job, and you were devastated about that, right? You literally at certain points, I remember you telling me like you wouldn't leave your house, like you wouldn't do anything except stay in your bed. So talk about how your life was before you met me when you were stuck in the state. Like what were your habits like? How did it affect everything in your life?
Yeah, so like you mentioned, I was just staying in bed, just didn't want to go out, was afraid to go outside. Um, just bed rotting. Felt like my life was just passing me by and nothing was happening, nothing was changing. I know a lot of people also think too that, oh, this is gonna pass by or you're just gonna let time by. But unfortunately, it's not how it works. I tried it and it doesn't work just by waiting it out. No, like action needs to be done in order for things to change.
Boom.
Um,
One of the most important concepts, literally one of the most important concepts. If there was another thing I would tell myself is to stop waiting. Stop waiting and take action. Speaking on that, because a lot of people don't know what taking action means, right? What does taking action mean to you, Deanna?
just getting up there, and then I know like you have the non for the people that aren't, familiar with the program, the non-negotiables, things that you need to do on a daily basis.
Mhm.
Makes you feel like once you have all of those down and you crush those, like makes you actually feel like you did something towards your recovery, like you're actually on it, you're doing something instead of just like in my case, what I was doing, just bed rotting, just hoping everything will go away, just actually accomplishing something, even if it's like going outside for 30 minutes or like for me, for example, like I have a dog and I haven't walked him since forever. And one of like my list of things was to like, walk my dog. And it was something that was like almost like even my family was like, "What are you doing? You're walking your dog?" Like they were so surprised that I even had to explain to them like, "Yeah, like I'm walking the dog because I need to, get my time in with my outdoor time."
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and for people that aren't familiar with the non-negotiables, obviously they're not on my program, but what I would say to them is what I always say on my content is to do the things you already know you should be doing. Literally that. It doesn't get more simple than that. Everything you know you deep down should be doing, put that in a simple list and get those things done every single day. That is it.
mhm.
Obviously it's person to person, it's personalized, there's different ways to go about it, but that's basic. Do that, you know?
Right.
Okay. And did you try any other methods or like therapies or solutions before working with me?
Yeah, so I tried medication. Like I mentioned earlier, I was in the psych ward, so they put me in a whole bunch of medication that just didn't sit well with me.
Mm.
Tried therapy as well, didn't work out. I felt like they didn't understand what DPDR was. And anxiety too. It was just I felt like it wasn't working out. Um, and just trying to get out of it by myself, just thinking everything was gonna be better, but it didn't work out until, until your program hit.
Love it, love it. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people can relate. They're on all types of medication, usually SSRIs. Which one were you on? Like, what did they put you on? Do you know?
I was on a lot, to be honest. I was on Zoloft, I was on Abilify, I was on Lexapro for a while, um, uh, Cyprexa for sleep, and another one for anxiety. But I mean,
Wow.
yeah, it was a couple.
Wow. Wow. That's just, it's horrible to hear, and I'm sorry about that. Obviously I'm not for medication, especially when it's not needed. But it's unfortunate that like half of my clients or half of the clients are on medication,
Hmm.
and they still recover. It doesn't matter, to be honest. It's just kind of like it's not needed.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then speak about therapy for a second. Like, how long did you try therapy for? How many sessions? Or yeah.
I did it for like around a month, just because my job at the time was covering since I had health insurance.
Hmm.
Um, and it was just I've also actually going a little bit like off track from therapy or kind of related to it. A lot of people do recommend 988, like the suicide hotline for
Mm.
for like hard times and stuff. But I feel like it just doesn't work like just talking it out. I mean, it's good to have someone hear you out, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's not gonna have your symptoms go away. Um, and they tell you, oh, just do a like a grounding. Like I hate that. Like you don't know how much like I hate them. Like do a grounding exercise or do this or do their tap. I think yeah, you made a video too. You're like, oh, just
Oh
tap
my
your face or
God.
something. And like no, like it's
I
not how it
hate
works.
tapping. I hate tapping. And it's not like it's just the grounding techniques, all that BS. It's just BS. It's literally just
Yeah.
coping mechanisms. And it's interesting because it helps some people, but it's always in the moment. Like what people don't
Hmm.
understand is you need to stop with the in the moment fixes and you need to think long term and what's actually gonna get you to the point where you're free of this forever.
Yeah.
But I mean, why do you feel like Deanna? Why do you feel like therapy doesn't work for almost, I mean, everyone I've talked to? Why do you think therapy does not work for DPDR and anxiety, like severe anxiety?
I think every case is different, but I just feel like you have to experience it to know what it's like to get out of it. Like for you, for example, right? Like you went through it, right? So like who else better than someone that's already been through it to help you get out of it? I even heard in some of your videos that some doctors don't even know what DPDR is, that they're even like Googling it in front of you. Like
They
it's a
are.
condition that's not known.
They
I mean, a
are.
lot of people know about anxiety, but anxiety hits, I mean, it can affect different people in different ways. Like in my case, it's like overthinking. Like I don't get a lot of the physical symptoms. Like a lot of people I know get like the heart palpitations,
Mhm.
stuff like that. So anxiety is different for I feel like anxiety might like look different for a lot of people. Um, but it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
you really need to change your mindset. And I feel like with therapy, like you don't get enough of that information. They just kind of just I don't want to say brush it off because I don't want to like sound disrespectful to any therapist or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it's just like you said, like it's I feel like they give you kind of like in the moment treatments or like oh pour cold water in your face or grounding techniques. And that can probably work for a bit, but like you said, in the long run, it doesn't really work out.
Yeah, you hit it right on the head. You hit it right on the head. And it's unfortunate that people aren't informed about it. But it's also like the truth is that like you can't expect them to know about something that's so special and like not so special. I don't want to say that. It's very unique. It's unique in its own way. And you have to experience it to help other people because you can't just say, take a deep breath. Like, no, you know?
Yeah.
But okay. And in terms of like right before you joined the program, um, did you have any thoughts, like any fears, any like, you know, what if this doesn't work? Or like, what did you actually think before joining the program?
Yeah, like I still thought I was a special flower, that I wasn't gonna be the one that's gonna be able to recover. Still a lot of like suicidal thoughts just because I think when you get to a certain level that you can't sleep, it really does mess with your head. Um, I think they even equivalent to it like if you're like drunk or something after a certain amount of days, right? Like you like
Yeah.
just out of it. Um, so I mean, I knew I need help because I tried medication. I had already went to the psych ward a couple times. I think I even went. I think I lost track actually. Like now that I think about it, how many times I had to go in, and and it wasn't for like a day or two. It was like a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Wow.
Um, and just seeing like my husband, like he would come almost every day to come visit me, and then seeing the effort that he was doing to try to be there for me, my and his family also trying also, trying to be there for me, it just made me want to just, just everything just accumulated and I knew that I had to find a way to get better, to get back to, well, to how I was, maybe not even how I was before, even, I didn't even think that I can be even better than what I was before. And that's what my husband's been telling me too, like you don't have to be the same person, you can be someone even better. Which is something that would have never crossed through my head because
Even
I was
better.
just such, yeah.
That's the whole point. And like a lot of people don't understand this. I didn't get it either. Like the person you were before was the person that got you into this spot that you're in, you know? But while
Mhm.
we're in it, we always think like, wow, I just want to be normal again. I just want to be normal again. I just want to feel like that, right? You get the same feeling once you recover, but thankfully you're not that same person because that same person was the one that destroyed your life, you know? Which is why like it's so important to understand that once you overcome this fully, at least through my program, you're going to be the best version of yourself. You're going to be better than ever, you know?
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
and when you were struggling, what made you actually join the program? Like, what was it about me, my content, or whatever the case might be that made you be like, I want to work with him?
Just seeing and knowing that you had already gone through it too was something that really like clicked in my head. Because you weren't like some just random doctor or random therapist that guaranteed results, and then seeing that your results were 100%, that all your clients were recovering. I was like, this is it. This is the guy. I have to hit him up. Like it's either like you said, like it's life or death. And literally that was the case for me because of how deep I was into it. Um, so yeah, I mean, I remember, I know you get a lot of messages, but I remember sending you a DM once. Don't remember the exact date, but then I didn't hear from you for a while, and
Jeez,
then
really? I'm sorry about
yeah,
that.
yeah, no worries. And then I remessaged you, and then that's when you answered, and then we had our conversation. And then yeah, things, just was good from there.
Yeah, I see your message right now, actually. Back in April, and here's something we need to talk about. It's pretty unique. So, actually reached out to me in April, and she ended up joining the program let me see. Actually, let me make sure. Um, I remember this. We officially joined the program. I think it was April 29th, right?
Hmm.
She got onboarded, and what happened, Deanna? Like we just so you guys know, I didn't hear from her for literally like another 3, 4 months. So like,
Yeah.
what was going through your head? Because you abandoned me. What happened?
Yeah, so I just was seeing that all your clients were getting recovered, and then I felt like I was making no progress, and I felt like I just couldn't do it. I just felt like I was like I mentioned a couple times already, like I was a special flower. So I was like, you know what, it's just like, what am I kidding myself? Like I'm not going to recover.
Mm.
Um,
But we didn't start the program. Like you got onboarded. Like we had our first call, but then after that, nothing. So it's not like you weren't making progress. Like you didn't even
mhm.
start. You know? Were you just like scared? Like, was it like fear to start, or was it just like, I don't even want to try it because, like, I don't even think I'm gonna recover? Or what do you think it was?
I even had anxiety to open my laptop. Like that's how bad like my anxiety was. Like I couldn't do anything. Like the only thing I was able to do was just bed rot. So it was just like getting through the modules were actually some like really like I was really anxious getting through the modules. So I'm like, I can't even take notes on this. Like, what makes, what am I gonna think that I'm gonna actually like be able to follow through? And just being scared to fail, I guess. I think it was something that also, came to mind, and I just didn't want to just be that one person that was never going to recover. And I don't know, I was just really scared and then felt like it wasn't gonna happen for me.
Yeah, that's deep. That's deep. But I'm glad I heard back from you. And then you reached back out. I was checking in with you, but I don't know, you were
Mhm.
ghosting me. But then you reached back out. We started working together July 23rd. July 23rd, we reconnected. What is that, 4 months later? No, 3 months later,
3
we
months later, yeah.
reconnected and then we got you recovered in 47 days. So that's all that matters at the end. And I'm glad we reconnected. Um, let's see what else I had for you. Yeah, which specific part of the program, Deanna, do you feel like resonated with you the most? Like, what was it that really got you fully recovered? Was it like the whole program, or would you say like a certain part of the program really helped you?
I think everything from the program really helped, especially like I mentioned, since I was bedridden, I wasn't doing anything with my life. I was literally like my screen time was maybe like 10, 11 hours, right? So I would just think about the same thing over and over and over again all day. So getting those, the indoor activities done, the outdoor activities done. What I think really stood out to me was the David Goggins book. I read it twice. The first time it was kind of like, okay, whatever, and like he got through whatever he got through. He had a bad childhood.
Right.
Um, but reading it the second time really put in perspective for me how bad people have it, and they don't let that, get in their way to be successful. For me, I can't really complain about my childhood. I feel like I had a really good childhood, but reading his story, like seeing how bad he had it, and then like now he accomplished so many things, and that he mentions in his book, and it just proves how strong like the mind is. Like
Yeah,
it's crazy. Like people don't really understand that your mentality is everything.
mindset is everything, and just yeah, I mean that book changed my life too. For those that don't know, Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. It's the best book ever.
Definitely recommend.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, cool. And let's talk about your recovery journey. Wait, no, did I miss out on something? Did you? Oh yeah, I did miss out on something. Because it was interesting because you brought up how financial pressure was like that's what made you anxious. Like feeling the financial pressure made you anxious. And I found that interesting because on our consultation call when you joined the program, I mean, you invested in yourself just like that. Like you were all in, you were trusting in me, you were committed, you didn't even think twice about it. Why do you think that is? Like like what was going through your head when you had to invest in yourself, and how did you justify the investment?
Yeah, so like you mentioned, I'm still getting on my feet. I just got a new job. But I knew that this was like for dev. So even if I had to invest, in this program, I knew that it was gonna be because I was gonna get out of this and I was gonna, come out better on the other side. So
Mm.
that's why I didn't really second guess it. Um, I mean, it was worth it. It was definitely worth it.
Yeah, I can
I mean,
imagine.
you put in the time to make this program, you put in the time to make it work. And even ChatGPT said you're the number one person to cure DPDR, right? I saw that too. But yeah, I mean, like I feel like for everything that you work so hard for, there's a price to it, So I
I
mean,
appreciate
definitely
that.
worth it. You put in the work to it, for it. You have the program, you've seen the results, you help out, all these people. Um, I mean, it is what it is.
Appreciate that. No, no, of course, of course. And I want to speak more about you though. Like you were not in a good financial situation at all. I mean, probably like a really bad financial situation, no job, bills, your husband, doctors, and I'm really proud of you for taking that step, Deanna, because a lot of people they don't take the step to actually recover, so then they don't recover. And then they wonder why they didn't recover because they fell victim to their anxiety. And I guess
Right.
I don't know if it's the same question, but someone who is you were very severely anxious at that point and you were under a lot of stress. Like, how did you actually piece things together to be like, you know what? I need to do this for myself. Was it just like a life or death situation, or was it like you trusted me so much, or was it like both?
I definitely would say it's both. Especially because of my experience already, being at the lowest at the low,
Right.
being at the psych ward, like I did not want to return there. Like I'll do whatever it takes, I'll swipe this card, I'll pay what I have, what I have to do. It was just such a bad experience. I know, I mean, I don't want to talk so bad about the psych wards, but I feel like I've done it already. But I know they're supposed to be there to help you, but to be honest, it's not the best place to be.
Mm.
And I don't want to discourage anyone. Like if you need the help, definitely get the help. But I just feel like the psych ward is just isn't the way to go. Um, I mean, it might depend on each state, each facility. I can't really judge all of them, but in my experience, it just wasn't. It was more traumatizing than anything.
Yeah.
So because of my experience, I have a husband and I want to have a family one day. So just all of that I had to take into consideration and make a decision like, do I want this or do I give up? So that's why I decided to join the program.
That's it. You had a why, you had a reason, you had motivation, you had it, you understood what was at stake. And that's so important. Like you have to understand what is at stake. Well, okay, what if you don't recover, right? What happens then? To me, that was unacceptable. I couldn't like my life was flashing. Like I almost felt like I died at a certain point. Like I literally felt like I died. So like you have to get to that point. You have to get to the point where you're willing to do that. Um, yeah, and another thing, like, okay. I need to emphasize again how 13 days ago, wait, no, 12 days ago, you were about to quit. I didn't let you quit, of course not.
Yeah.
But how did we get you from 12 days ago about to quit on everything, a quit on me, quit on yourself, quit on your family, quit on everything to get you fully recovered within it was like 9 days? How did you do that? What was the mindset? What was the shift?
I would definitely contribute Owen also to it. I think Owen's great. Shout out to
Yeah.
him. But that audio message that you sent me was really motivating. I remember you mentioning like it's not really that hard, and to me it was like okay, like then it must really not be that hard. Then maybe I'm just overthinking it, or just thinking the worst is gonna happen. Um, I honestly I feel like I have a lot to live for. I mean, a lot of people when they're depressed, when they're in DPDR and in anxiety, feel like their life is over, that nothing's gonna get better, that they have nothing probably to live for, or just want the feeling to go away. Um, but just that audio that you sent me and just thinking, hey, I have more to live for. And if I don't get my life back, I'm never going to be able to have my family. I'm never going to be able to experience this. Um, like you mentioned, I wanted to quit. Like I just, when I met that I couldn't live, 24/7 with anxiety anymore, I was, thinking more suicidal things like, and I didn't specifically mention that. But it just got to that point where I just felt like this anxiety is never gonna go away. The DPDR did go away, I feel like a while back, once I started the program, but it's the anxiety that was still bugging me. Um, which I don't know if that's normal or people have it the other
It
way around.
happens.
Um, but yeah, I mean, to know that you have one life, this is all you get, and then you have the decision to make the choices that you want in life. And I think that's something important that everyone needs to emphasize because hey, we all make bad then something that I was really, really bad at is blaming myself, right? So
Right.
we can all blame ourselves, like, oh, I shouldn't have never, like in your case, like I should have never done that. That would have never gave me DPDR. And in a lot of people's cases too, I should have never done that. But if we keep dwelling on it, like that's not gonna change anything, right? Like the past is the past. We made that decision.
That's it.
Now the time is now, you know? So
Time is
that's
now.
what, yeah.
And I love that that resonated with you because, like, I sent you that voice message. It was like 6 minutes long, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was any new information. Like, I didn't tell you anything you didn't already know. It just happened to be at the right moment and with the right intention, because you were struggling with the overthinking, the regret, the this, the that, the anxiety. And I think that really helped you. Like the voice message where I said it's not even that hard. That's
Yeah.
amazing. For context, I basically said at a certain point of voice message, I said, like, look, Deanna, I'm not going to force you to stay. I'm not going to force you to not quit, but I can't let you quit on yourself when you're quitting on something that's not even that hard. And I said, like, if it was something that was way harder, I would be like, okay. But something like anxiety that can be fixed so quickly, I was like, I can't let you do this. It's not even that hard. And obviously I told you, like, you have one life, no, everything you said. But yeah, that's great that that resonated with you. I really I remember taking that voice message like it was literally 12 days ago. I was in my backyard. I was sending you the voice message. It's crazy. Um, okay, so that
Yeah.
mindset shift was huge. And what other aspect of the program, what other aspect do you feel like contributed to your success? So you said the book was great. My help
Mhm.
during that tough moment. Was there anything else that you feel like really helped you get to the other side?
I think the gym is really important too. A lot of people don't really like going to the gym for whatever
Yeah.
reason, but um, I don't know, just getting the sweat out, just and especially too, like if you're on a weight loss journey, I think it's really helpful. Like if you you don't even necessarily have to run. Like I honestly sometimes I wouldn't even run. I would just walk on a treadmill. Um, just getting out there, seeing other people actually like forcing themselves, pushing themselves to be like the best version of themselves. Um, I mean, the gym is there for whoever, all you have to do is just pay your membership, right? But I feel like the gym was really important. Um,
I like that.
get your body moving because if you're just, sitting there, like I could be in my bed right now just thinking I shouldn't have done this, I shouldn't have done that. But I'm at the gym, I'm over here thinking, okay, I still got, 30 minutes left, or I'm watching something on the TV or something. So it's also getting distracted too. I was never into books, and I'm right now I'm actually reading the other book that you had recommended. So this book is really cool too. Um,
Super.
just different things to get your mindset out of what you've been thinking about that, everything that's gotten you to this point or like what got you in DPDR in the first place.
Yes. Yes. And breaking the thought loops are so important, like you mentioned, breaking the thought loops are everything. And was there a specific moment, Deanna, where you felt like, wow, like I feel good, I feel normal again?
I think it was the day after you sent me that audio, to be honest with you, because like you
Really?
said, like, yeah, like I just felt like giving up. I really
Wow.
thought like it was just, I'm that special flower. I'm just that special case that I'm just not gonna recover. Um,
That's crazy to me. Like, okay, help me understand, help everyone understand. So,
okay.
about to quit, severe anxiety, overthinking, rumination, all that. The next day, it completely shifted. Okay. How? Like, in terms of how did that feel like? And were you surprised? Like, are you even surprised right now that we're doing this interview when just a couple days ago you were at rock bottom?
Yeah, definitely. Also the other thing that helped out too was that I finally got another job, and the thing is that like with the mindset that I had, I would tell myself I'm never gonna get another job, especially because the job market. I don't know if people been on TikTok recently or get that on their algorithm, but the job market is really hard right now. A lot of places are saying that they're hiring, but they're not really hiring people.
Mhm.
Um, so I would always think to myself, like, you know what, like I'm never gonna get a job. I'm pretty much stuck. Like I should have never left my job. Um, But then you sent me the audio, and then you said, well, that's it's not even that hard. And I was like, maybe he's right, like maybe I mean, I'm not saying that everything that comes out of your mouth has to be wrong, or uh
Yeah, I feel you.
but it was just really putting that into perspective, like all the hard work that you've put into, like all the calls, all the messages. Owen too has really been Owen's great.
Owen's the best.
uh yeah, and just seeing all the everyone else in the Discord just being positive, getting things done. Like if they can do it, why can't I do it? So I really had to really change my mindset into thinking, you know what, like this is hard, but it was worse for me. Like I was in the psych ward. I was in the hospital because of, my suicide attempts. Like I've I already passed like the hardest part. Like for me in my experience, like I was in a really deep hole where, I couldn't sleep at all. I couldn't eat at all. And now I'm at a point where I can make my own decisions. I can, choose what my life what I want it to be. Um, so just putting that all into perspective, like, you know what, like I can do this. I just all I have to do is just change my mindset. And that's what led me to, how I am today.
Amazing. Amazing. How does life feel like now? How does life feel like going from that horrible anxiety to now being free from anxiety? Do you feel free from anxiety?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even before, like, I would never smile. I feel like I would always be like, I don't, like, kind of like always stressed out, never like wanting to talk to anybody, just really like antisocial.
Mm,
Uh, Anxiety is the worst. I mean, only people that go through anxiety know what it's like. A lot of people get like test anxiety or like stuff like that, and it's like, okay, it's temporary, and then you do your test, and then it's over.
yeah.
But like having DPDR, having anxiety to that extreme, I mean, to even try to like, even having thoughts of taking your own life should even tell you how extreme it really is. So definitely if that's what you're going through, like reach out. It's definitely possible to recover, even though, you might think it's not. Um, but it is possible. Anything's possible. You just have to put in the work.
Damn right. Damn right. And I gotta say, like, I'm so proud of you. And like, I think this is one of my favorite interviews ever, just because of where how low you got. Like, I don't know if I've had other clients. There's been a couple maybe that have gone to like psych ward level bad, like attempt level bad. Like,
Hmm.
and even like how much you emphasize that you felt like you were that one person that couldn't recover. You genuinely felt like it so much that you ghosted me for 4 months. Even after paying, you ghosted me and then you came
Yeah.
back. Like if there's anyone, this interview right here needs to eliminate anyone who currently feels like they're special or they, have it worse than anyone else, And the fact that you made changes so quick, even though the recovery journey was 47 days, you made changes from, like I said, 12 days ago to now, unbelievable. So I'm super proud of you for that.
Thank
Um,
you. Yeah.
yeah. Let's see what else. I mean, what are some things you're doing now that you didn't think you were capable of doing before?
I mean, going to the gym was something that I would rarely do. I mean, now I love it. Now I get to, go to the gym after work. Um, Sometimes even early in the morning. Even walking my dog, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of my family members are like, "What? Like you're walking the dog?" Like, yes, I'm walking the dog. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I was never into reading books either. Like, I honestly in college, I only probably read like one book because I was like really forced to.
Mhm.
But I never really realized like how powerful like reading like books are.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned, reading the Goggins book really helped me out in my journey. Um, and then yeah, just getting out there, just not being
And now
stuck
you
in
have
the
a job
house.
too. That's huge. You have a job.
Yeah,
Um, wow. Wow. And you're driving fine, right?
yeah, I was really scared to go out and drive too. There was some days where I was like, no, I don't want to drive. Because my whole situation was around, around cars and financials, burdens and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there are, days where I'm just like I have anxiety here and there. Like in the morning, like when I wake up sometimes, but then I'm like, there's nothing for me to be afraid of. And I think that's really important that our mind plays a lot of tricks on us. Um, Nothing's gonna happen to you, like you might feel like something's gonna happen to you, but I mean, it's just our mind playing tricks on us, and we have to remind ourselves that.
Agreed. Agreed. 100%. Um, just closing it, I mean, ending off here, what would you say to someone who's currently going through anxiety and DPDR and they feel like recovery is impossible?
I mean, the feelings are valid. I mean, because of how strong the feelings are, like, I mean, it's hard. It's hard. I'm not gonna say it's something that you can, I mean, I know I think your fastest climb recovered in what, like 8, 7 days, right?
Yeah.
But every journey is different, but
Sure.
you can't give up on yourself. You can't give up on yourself. Like life is hard. No one said life was easy, and I think that was one of my biggest problems that I had. Like I was always successful. I was always making the right choices until the day that I didn't. And that's when like everything went down on me and I just couldn't stop thinking about my mistakes. I felt like, like my life was over. But I mean, if you're at the bottom, the only way you can go is up. So
Yeah, I said that
you can do
too.
it.
I said that too. Yeah, that's amazing. And what would you say to someone who's currently like watching this interview? They've seen other client results. Maybe they've reached out. Maybe they have their consultation call tomorrow. But maybe they're actually like scared to commit. They're scared to commit in themselves, to invest in themselves. What would you say to them?
Well, it's worth making the commitment for sure. I know some people might be on the fence, like, is this worth it? I know some people are like, oh, are you trying to sell? I saw a comment that someone was like, are you trying to sell me something? I mean, and
I did
that
see
look
that.
made
Oh
me laugh.
yeah, that was funny. Because I even responded back to them. I said,
Yeah,
no, he said, let me guess, like you're selling something. And I said,
yeah,
you don't have to guess. Look at all my client results and see everyone's lives who have changed.
yeah. I saw that comment and it made me laugh. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, for someone that's on the fence about it, I mean, it's life or death. I've seen people, well, from your clients that they've spent decades, in DPDR, spent years. Um, and that doesn't have to be you, like if you can make the decision to work on it. I mean, everything in life is possible as long as you put in the work. I mean, I didn't think it was possible. Like I thought I was gonna just, live the rest of my life just in bed, or either committing another suicide attempt. And I mean, it did also almost get to that point a couple weeks ago, but I mean, it's all mindset. I mean, if you're gonna keep thinking in the negative that you're never gonna recover, then that's what your reality is gonna be. Um, but this program's worth it. I mean, if you have 100% recovering your clients, it says something. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Like the numbers speak for themselves, and it's worth it. I mean, like for me to like let this be an example of like someone that literally I felt like I lost everything. I was in the psych ward multiple times. I was on multiple medications. I thought my life was over, and then now, I'm living basically almost a new life with a new job, new mentality. And like now I know what not to do, what to do. And just you only have one life. It doesn't matter if you're like 20, 25, 27, 30. You have a life to live, and you have the choice to either stay in this forever or to make the decision to get out of it.
I think you should write I think you should write a book, honestly. And I think this makes me so proud, Deanna, because it's everything I've been telling you for the last 45 days, right? It was everything I've been telling you. And to see it click for you and to see it like actually resonate with you. And now you're preaching the same stuff I was telling you. And now like even the way you're speaking right now, like it's just amazing. Just amazing. Like there's no words for it. Um Yeah, I'm so proud. And what's coming up for you, Deanna? Like now you're free from anxiety. What's on your bucket list, or what do you actually want to accomplish now with your life?
Just keep on working, saving up money. Before this, well, I'm a real big soccer fan, so I was saving up to go to the World Cup because it's going to be here in the United States, Mexico, and Canada.
Hmm.
When I was going through DPDR and anxiety, I thought I wasn't going to be able to go because I was jobless, my mental state and all that. Um, but you catch me at the World Cup, guys. I'll be putting up my stories.
I
I don't
love
know
it.
which games yet, but I'll be there for some of the games. I'm not sure. I mean, I think ticket prices are out there or they're starting to, release them. But that's something that I've, been wanting to do, visit family more. Um, in October, my brother's actually having the baby, so
There you
I'll be
go.
going up to San Francisco to visit my brother. Really happy for him. And yeah, just looking forward to like things like that, things with family, things that I can, things that I enjoy doing, which I thought like, a couple months ago or even like a couple weeks ago that I wasn't going to be able to do. But yeah, just, keep on working hard, um, not letting anything stop me, not letting all these negative thoughts stop me, just keep working hard and enjoying life.
Enjoy life. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And I definitely still want to have a call with you next week just to
Okay.
make sure that things are running smoothly, just to make sure, still staying consistent, still staying disciplined, and like, think more future paced, like, how we're going to get to all your goals and things of that nature. I actually think, did you book a call for a Sunday or Saturday?
I think Saturday, but I mean, I can reschedule if that works
That
out
works.
better.
Saturday works. You could have a call on Saturday. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, we're wrapped up here. I mean, the last thing, you've already said so much, but I guess if there's like one piece of advice you would give to someone who's currently going through it right now, what would you say?
I mean, it sucks. It feels like your world is crumbling. It feels like you're never gonna get out. It feels like nothing's real. It feels the worst, but it's not forever. You might feel like it's forever, but trust me, it's temporary and you'll get out of it. Trust us. Like trust the process.
Mhm.
This is not forever. You'll be able to, get your life back and then you'll be so happy that you didn't.
It's amazing, amazing. And I would say something similar, like even though right now it feels like genuinely, like no matter what we say, it's still going to feel that way for them because it felt that way for
Yeah,
me, that it's forever and that it's permanent and that, maybe they don't understand what I'm going through, all that. I know I've been there. Um, it's as temporary as you decide it to be. You can decide to prolong this as long as you want, or you can decide to end this today. And it's all a decision. It all comes down to you deciding enough is enough. Deanna made that decision. I made that decision. All my other clients you've seen have made that decision. And that's the reason why we are recovering and why we live our lives now. And yeah, it's just so surreal, honestly, like had doing this interview with you, Deanna, because the recovery journey was not easy for you. It was not
yeah.
smooth, it was not sunshine and rainbows. It was tough. It was a lot of ups and downs, and we made it happen in the end, and that's all that matters.
Right. Yeah, it wasn't a straight line for sure, but I mean
No.
the end results was worth it.
That's it. That's it. And how you deal with those setbacks are so important. In my program, there are no setbacks, and I made sure of that clearly.
Yeah.
But no, that's it. Thank you, Deanna, so much.